Hello. Show started. Eddy does Internet of Capitalism. This is multi-streamed. As it is live, it takes a few moments to do all preliminary checks. That's why I'll be right here doing some tests and setting up my dashboard during this few minutes warm-up. This is like a early heads up about the stream. Until then, here you go. Anyway, I'm Eddy, I'm your host, who loves you the most. Yeah, even you. Well, without further ado, I'm pretty much quite ready here, but just a few more tiny details. Let's check this screen. Hi. So this is my monitoring desktop. I can hear everything is ready. I just need to grab a few more things that's only available when the stream is on running. And that's the YouTube chat and the live, and also I think Trovo. I can't prepare Trovo chat and YouTube and the live ahead of stream because it's not available, not like with the Kick or Twitch. And I'm having another issue with Twitch over restream. It shows the wrong category and I cannot go around that. So if I try to manually now grab the edit stream info and remove this Minecraft, it won't work, and if I start the stream it will default to Minecraft. But it's I can try learning, because this will be learning. Learn. I'm quite unhappy with the provided categories. Can I just say share? No, there are games. So I'll stick for now with the software and development category for these streams while I'm learning. And I hope this time to go with I'll do a little bit of Blender for this time, and then the rest for the day will be probably again Godot to keep this learned so far fresh and what's the term? Fresh and up to par, up to level, so they don't fade away. I've labeled, my label on the stream should be mature, so I'm a tobacco user, abuser, whatever you want to call it. Give me that control, give me activity or alerts. Are these alerts? What are these? I don't know. I'll put it here because it's very busy thing, always. Throw has inbuilt default bots. That flood the chat. And I'm hoping just to bring some value to the platforms, that it isn't just farming. Like, so the, you know, streams available is not just based on gambling habits. If you put it in, if I generalize it, if you allow me. Let me know if my audio is, I don't know, good. If I'm too boxy, I might come closer to the mic. But I'm close, it's a 3 inches away from me, 3.5. So I hope this is, that I've got the right stuff from DLive. Where is it? DLive. Activity, is this chat? Bring me the chat. So since learning, yep, without ado. Hey Monique50, how you doing? There on Trovo. I'll be in a few moments in. Today, if you ask me, I have a feeling this will be good stream with a sense of achievement. I think I'm all the way in with this. Yep. Switch this thingy. Don't need this, but need where is it? I'm using a little bit different scene than usually. Okay. This is just my main landing page website. I've built a multi-network website, my online network graph for myself. That's what I do. I funnel all my internet traffic to my main website, where the conversions occur. That's how it's money made here. So anyway, if you want to reach out to me, go to my website official. Let's make it more personal. And so what? Maybe try use this few moments for a warm up. A intro speech. Now I've memorized it. Here it is. And there it goes. Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen. This is a live recording and rehearsal session, a transmission from Studio Labete Doga. That's my place. And I'm actually putting on ice the working title suggestion, A Growing Cancer. That will be on the back burner. So my working title is Eddy does Internet of Capitalism show, and I'm Eddy. I'm your host that loves you the most, even you. Yeah. And maybe also, since I have a cheap camera like this, I put some light on. I don't keep the light on because I can't work with light in the eyes, but I need light to see the mouse keyboard stuff, so that's why this looks like this. until I edit and trim out the boring parts from the stream. I create on live. I create the actually episodes. It depends on the content type, on the topic, and I do the recap at the end of the stream or in the recording. If anybody's watching the recording version, jump on the end of the video, check the summary, so you're on the page. What's been going on? Is there anything to look through, browse through the video? So I at least first right away export a standalone video stream recap for the reference, and then you can jump in and go see. And after some time, so I do this live to cut down the production, video production editing. Doing stream, you get all content already uploaded, and then I streamline the production from Twitch, cutting up, creating multiple videos, and then export to YouTube, maybe TikTok. So I don't need to re-upload for all platforms. I use the actual cloud infrastructure for distribution. That's how it's done here. And now I like to have a look at Blender 3D CG, I guess, like a computer graphics or something like that. What's the short abbreviation for CG? Whatever. I'll double check my audio. Oh. Sound check, stay a while and listen. Stay a while and listen. Sounds good. Sounds good. And then let's go, let's say, I'll try this. Should I try this or no? No. I'm not sure which. I guess the usual one, just for the sake of efficiency. The traditional full screen scene, content full screen. During for my presentations, I use the Windows magnifier like this. And that helps me and you to actually, and I like it also. I'll turn off the light on the side. So this helps me run a presentation, and I found out you got quite handy with this. Works well. I've noticed also on videos. And I just hit Windows key plus to zoom in to enable the magnifier, and hit Windows key escape to zoom out. So if I kind of center this, and it worked well with the previous streams learning Godot, it all looked nice and readable, but at least large, closer in the subject. And okay, so have a look at the Blender stuff, because sip of water. And before continuing, another sound check just to make sure. Okay. Can I make this music not go too quiet? Not too quiet. Maybe like this. Okay. Again, another test. I've set it to on a threshold for side chain ducking compression from my mic. Kind of very low threshold. So I'm finding still, since this is live rehearsal also, I'm learning, rehearsing doing the live production, yeah, the methods, the skills. This could be good. I can even put music a bit quieter like this. And you know what? Since it's not my day, at least up till now, it's still early for me. The way I see it. I'm still on my first coffee. I keep around 2 coffees a day. Well, so this is a display showing window showing this thing, showing my website. Okay, this is previous, all done previously. And for Blender I only have videos, and that's actually not good. And I tried to kind of cheat or speed run the learning, and that's not good. No speed running. So I'll do actually more traditional approach, reading the manual, go through the manual. Yeah, I do read. I learn by reading. There is I have a theory about learning, how that works. And I've noticed when I want to learn something, watching video is good to get introduced, get the curiosity going for onboarding, but to learn something, having a written form of the learning course works best. It's not Bole, it's Blender, so I cannot work and talk. But with Blender, what's interesting, they don't have on the website so much, well, they don't have, they mostly sell their training courses. They're like on a pro level, but at least there are many free things, and the application itself is free. And if I rely only on YouTube videos, it's good, but one needs to, I want to have a clearer, better understanding on what's going on and why are these methods implemented, shown in the tutorials and videos the way they are. Because of that, sometimes my streams, my videos are like audiobooks, audio video books. Actually, just recently, I think the Blender conference 2024 was just closed, few weeks now going on, or it's not still an current event. It happened, it ended. But the Godot engine conference 2024 might still be going. At least there are still videos, fresh videos coming up on their YouTube channel, official Godot YouTube channel. And for my coffee, I like it with my tobacco. That's how I roll here. From my experience, the streams when I am not so eager to do them, like having second thoughts, should I do it? No, yes. They turned actually great. At least with a great sense of achievement. I'm hoping for that also this time. So far I've done about 9 efficient Godot streams, sessions, and got quite comfortable using it. And I want to keep up with this, but I put the Blender on the back burner. And before I get back to Godot, maybe I'm just a little bit saturated with it. I'll try to do something simple, around hour up to 2 hours with Blender. But I'll keep Godot so far on the first place, because Godot, unlike Blender, Godot I can export and create interactive project, while Blender is often exported. The creations in Blender are often exported as a linear content, like video, or well, you can also export the interactive, animated, rigged 3D models like characters, or build a complete simulation actually. With also interactive inputs, data sources. But it's a long journey to build up skills up to that level. Okay, I've done the intro, I know this, but nothing showing here. And my hands are at the moment still busy. My hands are still busy. I avoid reusing other people's content from videos. Maybe for a tiny moment, short moments during streams. But in the actual exported episodes, I try to trim them out. I respect other people's work and time invested. Everybody deserves to get paid for their work. That will provide them a decent living. Technical showcase focused on stylized rendering. Project Gold. Project Gold, what would that be? Is that a new tab? No. Project Gold, 4 minutes. Well, let's just for the sake of filling out this boring bit, let's give it a go. You might have seen this. This is nothing new. It's been out for a while now. Yeah, I want to learn all that. In a way, it feels very complex and unobtainable. And even the current AI trends are putting shade on actually real human effort put into work, like, oh, you can just do something with 2 clicks, tell computer to do it. Enough with that. Nothing, no virtual artificial construct will replace human. Cost effective and so on. You can always train a real person to do better work than any machine, robot or whatever. Computers are good with handling, sorting large amounts of data, and that's all still and so far. The artificial chat AI bots are just the fancy presentation of actually handling data in a faster, pseudo-real time. How would I learn this? Where does one acquire the skill? You can check this on the actually internet, so I'll stick to the... Did I hit stream marker? Oh. Well, first I got myself the Blender already. Downloaded and installed. And I'm kind of blind, but I'm not blind, just saying it. And how would Blender work if I try to put it into this frame format? I think it tolerates many shapes and forms of display, so I'll give it a try. Like this, and here well, I don't need the video. Project Gold Premiere, okay, that's the website, and the Blender So if I would open it right away, we get the so-called now traditional welcome screen. I got that, I understand it. And where is the documentation, the manual? What I have here are recent files, donate, what's new, and where would I find the manual? If I go to file, I'm looking for the manual. Help, okay, manual, it's a website link. Tutorials, okay, so tutorials, so I'll click the link manual 4.2, that's the version I'm using, that's good. And I'll also open, just click on the Blender window to get back to these links. And this is what tutorials. So they don't provide here obviously tutorials, but let me check better. It's a real community effort. The most up-to-date tutorials can be found on social media. Look out for the hashtag B3D on your favorite social platform, X and so on. And for professional training, check Blender Studio with subscription. Okay, I remember. I remember now. Here is the thing. So they have here a section with the subscription membership courses, training, but there are free, some of them are free, like first beginner level, one batch of lessons. And I remember I said I'll go through this. So I'm looking now, where is the training individual? So this is just call to action, join. These are the recent lessons, explore studio training. So here it is. And I'm looking for, it doesn't show, it's almost, doesn't show whether it's free or not. I don't see at the moment, but I've been through here a couple weeks ago, and I know that beginner, okay, so the beginner says it is free, while others don't clearly state whether they're free. It probably means they're paid with a membership subscription. I don't remember, did I go through the 2.8 fundamentals? Is there anything else free here? I don't see right away. So if I open it in a new tab, fundamentals, so here it is. I guess the title on the side here says it's the, well, let's see the last one. Free. Okay, I like this. This is the full fundamentals course, free. Let me dig into this. First steps. How far did I went through this? I can't remember right away. Or did I take any of these steps? First steps. First steps is first steps. Is there a written version? There are some comments here. So it just suggests, okay, like a introduction demonstration. Let's say I'm already acquainted enough what provides what I might be able to learn to do. Add delete. Okay, this might be interesting, these parts, but I don't like this way for the stream to run the video and play their content. Let's check how this aligns with the manual. And here I have the manual. As a matter of fact, the manual actually is structured the same way. Installing, configuring, help user interface. Is this also video? Will I be running through the video? The user interface. What's the structure of the manual? Do they have like a demo or a few kind of pseudo tutorials? Video editing with Blender is nice. Okay, introduction, set up a project, edit your project. It looks like a complete almost training course, like a lesson structure feels like. The editors, user interface. Well, I'll take some time, browse through this, get familiar. Scenes and objects, editors. Collections. Version 4.2, okay. Well, that introduction is for 2.8. Not a big deal, but for beginner, stick to 1. So I don't get confused, I'll stick to 1. In my first few streams, I tried to jump straight away into tutorials. And I tried a tutorial for the tutorial created in the version 2.8 or 3.6, and it didn't work for me the way I thought it would for version 4.2, but just by one single option there was a difference. At least that time I got familiar how to put something in the scene and get the result, the final result render, so I know those parts. And looking over here how much of material is here, it looks overwhelming. But I need to start somewhere, yeah? User interface. Okay, so splash screen, that I know. Blender's interface is separated in 3 main parts. This is actually, I find this efficient way. Read and actually pick the references from while reading. Don't select text, I just want to grab the edge of the browser, like this. I hope presenting this way with Windows Magnifier works well for all of us. So you can read, I was zoomed in. It's a If I zoom out, this is how it looks. This way, if you're not watching in full screen, it would be probably that's the sometimes the issue with many tutorials online. It's hard to see the full screen elements, details. So I made my cursor larger. I've set up left right click to highlight. I even have this little helpy thingy to point out the section and so on. So Blender's interface is separated into three main parts. Top bar consists of the main menu, which is used for saving, importing, exporting files, configuring settings, rendering, among other functions. Areas in the middle, which is the main workspace. Areas in the middle, which is the main workspace. The status bar at the bottom, which displays shortcut suggestions and relevant statistics. Cool. I'm going through this basics to get on the same page with terminology. If I try to do some more advanced things, if I don't understand what the term means, it's not useful. So what I'll do now, I'll try to get both of my screens, both of these things aligned, so that I can have this thingy here on the right and this thing here on the left. Okay, on this page we don't need that section that collapsed. I'll see if I can work with this like this, or even like this. So I can just click now next. And how much can I squeeze the Blender itself? So they're side by side, and if I zoom in, zoom out, zoom in, even more. I think this is cool now. So each of the sections are not super large. It's a less than a full page of text. So on the side panel, it appeared like there is quite a lot of it. Like full page, there are so many headings, titles, links, but it's actually just this much. One paragraph, 2, 3, 4 paragraphs with two large images. So next link on to next shows right away the splash screen. So this will be worth spending time going through. It's not that there's overwhelming amount of reading material, and I'll read it out loud for you. I do this to encourage, just to get that first initial weight, the like fear, like, oh, it takes too much time. Yes, everything takes time. That was the initial idea. Why get online to learn things, and then we spend too much time just watching new content, but still not learning or being productive. and we try to avoid, try the shortcut, try find a shortcut in some video. Okay, this will help me learn some. No, until you start doing it, investing your time, focus on what you're up to, away from infinite feed of new content, then we can start learning. I'll go back just to make sure that I read this. So customization, I might just skip this, but it's actually also good to learn the terminology. Blender makes heavy use of keyboard shortcuts to speed up work. These can be customized in the key map editor. So that's what the key map editor is. Theme colors. Blender allows for most of its interface colors to be changed to suit the needs of the user. If you find that the colors you see on screen do not match those in the manual, it could be that your default theme has been altered. Okay. Creating a new theme or selecting altering a pre-existing one can be done by opening the preferences. Okay, that's in the preferences on the themes. Accessibility. Blender has several options for visibility customization, including resolution scale and the ability to load custom fonts. These settings can be configured in interface preferences splash screen. Next one. I'll just grab a sip of water. I'm talking now for almost hour, 50 minutes. When starting Blender, the splash screen appears. I will try to like a cache before I read out stuff. I'll try to speed browse this. Hey guys on Trovo, how crowding up on Trovo. That's a bit unusual for my experience in the past 10 days. Shout out to David Salak, A7 Mad Joe, Uniside, welcome. And back to this thing, I'm here, so splash screen looks for each version of Blender differently. To close the splash screen and start new project, click anywhere outside the splash screen but inside the Blender window, or hit escape. So that's the splash screen. And starting Blender for the first time or updating to new version, the interactive region contains a quick setup process. Splash image is the like a fancy way they say, oh look, this is now what this is done with the new version, that's why we did it. The interactive region is at the bottom of half of the splash screen. So if I restart the Blender, even if I just say here new, general, I was hoping maybe to get another a second instance of the Blender. So this is how I get it. So here's the splash screen, and this is the interactive part, the icons, the links. I'll close this, and I will close this window, because the last window I close will save the state, last state of for the Windows used. So I'm hoping that it will remember my last settings position, and so now it goes the full screen. Okay, I'll then just resize it back to suit the zoom, and back to zooming in. Great. Is this too much? Yeah, a little bit zoom out. So about the interactive region, which is this one below. New file, recent file, open. A standard set of options we find on desktop apps and some maybe mobile portable apps. Recover last session in case the Blender crashed or something happened, some failure. What's new? Okay, next. The top bar, Blender menu, splash, open splash scene, about the Blender. The version, about Blender shows version, date, cache, branch, windowing environment. Okay, in case we are on the Linux, it refers to Wayland or X11. Just so we know, just so the users are clear about what they should expect, the behavior, which behavior they should expect depending on what platform is running, Windows, Linux. So about Blender section looks a little bit like the interactive splash screen section. Install application template. I'll have a look at this. I'm curious about this. What's that? What would that be? Application template. So click that link to open it in new tab. Usage application templates are a feature that allows you to define a reusable configuration that can be selected to replace the default configuration without requiring separate Blender installation or overwriting your personal settings. Application templates can be selected from the splash screen, file, or file new submenu. Where there are no templates found, the menu will not be displayed on the splash screen. New application templates can be installed from Blender menu. If you would like to keep the current application template active on restarting Blender, save your preferences. Motivation. In some cases, it's not enough to write a single script or add-on and expect someone to replace their preferences and startup file, install scripts and change their key map. The goal of application templates is to support switching to a customized configuration without disrupting your existing settings and installation. This means people can build their own application on top of Blender that can be easily distributed. Hey, that's quite elaborate. In more details, an application template may define its own startup file, preferences, splash screen, Python scripts, directory layout. Templates may be located in one of two locations within the scripts, the directory. Okay, this is like a full bundle to, let's say, set up a whole team for the task. It's possible to set up and distribute the Blender to a team members, so they have the same working environment for during the development process for the project. Okay, back to it's good to know, but it's for like more advanced. I'm back here in the manual top bar menu section, file menu, about Blender. I clicked OK, install application template. That's so where is that animation, shading, help, tutorials. So I've squeezed quite a bit my screen. File, templates, help, tutorial, support, window. So I'm reading the manual, but I'm not actually following where this is. Splash screen, install application template, Blender menu, back to top, menus, file and the rendered window, help, Blender menu, splash screen, about Blender, so is that template, install template on the, okay, so this is the Blender menu, application icon, okay, splash screen, about Blender, and here is the install application template, the system, gotcha. Well, if I didn't take a moment to find that, I would be always curious, what's the Blender menu, but that's the Blender menu, the application icon actually. File menu, the top. The options to manage files are new, open, open recent, revert, recover. Shout out to Vadim, popping up over there on Trovo. Welcome. So we are in the file menu section. Save as, the traditional standardized section, then the link, which is here, links data from external blend file library to current one, okay. The editing of the data is only possible in the external library, okay, so you can link it and edit it outside of the project. Appends data from an external blend file to the current one. The new data is copied from external file and completely unlinked. Data preview tools for managing data block previews. I'll just check about the stream health. Is everything in order? Okay, check done. Where was I? Data previews. Now we are still in the file menu section. Have it open. Oh no, it goes away. Then the import export sections. Export all collections, okay, invokes all configured exporters for all collection. External data like texture, images and other resources can be stored inside the blend file I need to again take a moment away, check something. I think my cat needs my attention. Okay, thank you for your patience. I'm back. 1 hour in. I'll close it. I will go through the section to the end of this section and then take a short break. I usually, for both of our sakes, the viewership and myself, I take a short break in around an hour in the stream. External data, automatically pack resources, pack all currently used external files into the blend file, and automatically pack any files that are added later. So it's a check option, it's like a setting. Unchecking this option will only stop the automatic packing for new files. It won't unpack existing ones. Okay, that's good to know. Pack resources. Pack all used external files into the Blender file. After running this operator and saving the blend file, the external files will no longer be used. Any changes in them will no longer be reflected in the Blender file. Okay, this is good to know. And you're free to move or delete them. Unpack resources. Export previously packed files back to external ones. You can choose whether to reuse existing external files or overwrite them. Okay, that's like synchronization, almost like a repository management, like something like Git operations, but simplified. Pack linked libraries. Pack data blocks that are linked from an external blend file into the current one. Unpack linked libraries. Export previously packed data blocks back to external. Okay, similar but for the data. Make paths relative. Make all paths to external files relative to current blend file. That's good inside of the projects folder. Make paths absolute relative to system root. Report missing files, find missing files, clean up, purge unused data, opens dialog to remove unused data blocks from both the current blend file or any linked data. Managing unused file. Okay, that's like with OBS, the elements of the scenes, assets. Defaults. This menu manages the startup file, which is used to store the defaults scene, workspace, and interface displayed when creating a new file. Initially, this contains the startup scene included with Blender. Defaults, okay, that's the default, so I'll a little bit speed this up. Save startup files. Save the current blend files, okay. Restore factory. When an application template is in use, the following operations are shown, okay. Load factory Blender settings, load factory application template name settings. Shortcut to quit, Ctrl Q closes Blender. Edit menu. Edit menu. Undo, redo, undo history, adjust last operation. Menu search. Operator search, rename active item. Rename tool, okay, rename active item. Batch rename, that's cool. Renames multiple data types at once. Lock object modes, prevents selecting objects that are in a different mode than the current one. This option can prevent accidentally mode changes, such as when you're trying to select a bone in a pose mode to animate it, but instead click a piece of background scenery which would normally select that piece and switch to object mode. So the interaction with the elements in the scene is interactive, so object types change the mode to object mode from animation to, let's say, some static. Depends on the structure. You may want to disable lock object modes, for example, when highlighting, weighting rigged objects, or sculpt and painting, where you intentionally want to switch between objects in different modes. Preferences, render menu. So render image, render image. Come on, keep it open. Render the active scene at the current frame. Render animation, render the animation of the active scene. Render audio, mix the scene's audio to a sound file. View render, show the render window, pressing again to switch back to main Blender window. View render. View render. View animation, playback rendered animation in a separate player. Lock interface during rendering in favor of giving more memory to the renderer. The window menu. New window, create new window by copying the current window, so it's like window clones of the same app. Put it in simple terms. New main window, create a new window with its own workspace and scene selection. So that's like opening, clicking on the app, launching it up and again. Toggle window full screen. Toggling the window can go full screen, I guess, without window borders. Next workspace, switch to the next workspace. Previous workspace. What are workspaces? Show status bar. Okay, on the bottom. window, status bar, no status bar, window, show status bar back, so it's the one on the bottom. It also shows the input controls indicator, mouse buttons, depending on which mode we are in the app. Save screenshot, capture a picture of the current Blender window, okay. With file browser where to save it. Save screenshot editor, capture a picture of the selected editor, okay, just the part of the app. Select editor by clicking the left mouse button in its area and the help menu. Okay, workspaces. Is that an option or it's a toolbar? So if I go, for example, full screen, just to expand this back to here, so workspaces layout. Where is this workspaces? Modeling, UV editing. Layout modeling, I guess that's the section after the help, so it's in the same row on the top bar, but this is like traditional standard menu items, file, edit, render, window, help, and then the workspaces is this part on the right from the traditional top bar menu options. It's a set of tabs. This set of tabs is used to switch between workspaces, which are essentially predefined window layouts. So layout, I can select. So this is just like a title. It's not a button, it's just a title for this group. So if I click modeling, the workspace changes to modeling, and the work mode is highlighting the object for the modeling tools, sculpting. So we are looking at the workspace for sculpting, and as I move the cursor, the mouse pointer around the object, I can see that the tool for modeling is enabled, and depending what tool I use, I can try, and maybe, well, it's a bit too early. Next workspace, UV editing. So UV editing. Do we have a description what that is here? No. Texture paint. Oh, this is good to know. Texture paint, shading. Can I click shading? Okay, goes a little bit different mode. Shading. This would be shading. Animation. We got on the bottom the animation frames, the timeline, animation timeline down on the bottom. Anything else? So rendering. This is rendering workspace. What else? Compositing. Okay. I'm not sure what that is. Geometry nodes workspace. Okay. Geometry nodes workspace. So also now I'm actually going through all this just to see how will this work well with the Scripting, okay, this is good to know. Scripting is just right sitting in the application itself. And so I also, while I'm inspecting these workspaces, I'm actually now making sure that it will work well with the zoomed in for the presentations for the stream. And it is 1 hour and 15 minutes in the stream. I'll click here next and take a short break. Workspaces. And I'll actually go into, I will open what I've done previously in Blender. I think it's 2.8. Where is the exe? Is it here? No. Here it is. So let's show me the previous project I've done. Okay, I've got, this is from tutorial, previous tutorial. What's the renderer here? Set to this, and I hit play animation. This is what I've done, the tutorial. Full screen? No. This is a renderer, okay, I don't need that. And I'll be right back. actually glad that I'm taking time doing this way, because it sets the perspective, and I'm learning the terminology for the application, so I'm on the same page with the industry standards, or what's expected and what is where, especially when if I go to tutorials, so I don't need to. So I'd actually efficiently learn the tutorial, the lessons from the tutorials. This is an important step, but you might also listen to the official free lesson from that Blender provides in their Blender Studio training materials, which is just the introduction, the same thing I'm going through now in the manual. But I'll say it again, I'm doing this for encouragement, to actually demonstrate that there is no shortcut when you need to learn something. You need to start somewhere, at some point. And that also includes reading. Most of my knowledge I learned from reading it, not from video. Video is not efficient. They are not efficient. So if I cool down the music, like about this level, hit the stream marker, I can continue. Stop the playhead, this one, close this, that's that, and get back to this, zoom this in. So workspaces, it's the section we're at. Workspaces are essentially predefined window layouts. Each workspace consists of a set of areas containing editors and is geared towards a specific task, such as modeling, animating, or scripting. Cool. You'll typically switch between multiple workspaces while working on a project. Located at the top. Okay, that's what I went through a moment ago. The controls, tabs, clicking on the tabs to switch between the workspaces. So control page up, down, add a workspace, context menu, right mouse button. So if I go to workspaces, if I right click on one of them, I have a few more options related, duplicate, delete, and so on, depending which one of them. So if I click escape, and the shortcut for workspaces on the keyboard is control page up, down. Cool. I like shortcuts. Most efficient way to use a computer for work. Default workspaces. Blender's default startup shows the layout workspace in the main area. This workspace is a general workspace. So it's this one. Okay, this is also workspace. Okay, so but it's a generalized one. Okay, this is now where the meat starts. This workspace is a general workspace to preview your scene and contains the following editors. So, okay, 3D viewport, this main one, I guess, top left, the yellowy one, orangey, here on the image, this outliner on top right, is this the green one, top right. So it doesn't have a title in the application, so I better learn that now. Properties on bottom right, so the blue one. And timeline on bottom left, so the red one, which is here, this thing, in this area. Okay, and it shows here says viewport yellow, outliner green, timeline red, describes the colors. Blender also has several other workspaces added by default. Modeling for modification of geometry by modeling tools. Sculpting for modification of mesh by sculpting tools. So modeling and sculpting, they're actually different. Well, indeed, if anybody, whoever was in some kind of art school, like for sculpting, we know that sculpting is referred to a method when the reduction of the material goes into shaping, taking away from a starting piece of material to create something, while modeling changes the initial object. But it doesn't reduce the amount, let's say. Well, we could say that modeling is changing a shape, while sculpting takes away something. UV editing for mapping of image texture coordinates. Okay, that's UV editing. It is mapping of image texture to coordinates. Coordinates to 3D surface. I think I could go through hours and hours of online tutorials, but without taking a look at these methods and terminology, I still, after 10 hours of video tutorials, wouldn't understand all this, the basic. Shading. For specifying material properties for rendering. Okay, that's what we see here in shading, like the realism, rendering, light illumination and so on. Shading. Okay. Animation for making properties of objects dependent on time. That also is used while editing a video. Rendering, analyzing rendering results, compositing for combining and post-processing of images and rendering information. Combining and post-processing of images. Geometry nodes, that's interesting. For procedural modeling using geometry nodes. So let's have a look in the next tab of the browser here. What are geometry nodes? Scripting for interacting with Blender's Python API and writing scripts. So I have here geometry. I'll close these and just leave these. So I'm looking to go to, come on. Where is the, oh, this is the chapter geometry nodes. Geometry node types. Introduction, okay. Geometry nodes is a system for modifying the geometry of an object with node-based operations. It can be accessed by adding geometry nodes modifier. Geometry node tree connected to a modifier is a node group. So here below in the workspace for the Blender, this example in the image, this section here is a tree of geometry nodes and modifiers. Interessantisch. The geometry node tree connected to a modifier is a node group. Node the geometry from the state before the modifier, the original geometry or the result of the previous modifier will be passed to the group input node. Then the node group can operate on the geometry nodes and pass an output to the group output node, where it will be passed to the next modifier. This is a bit abstract, but reminds me of Godot engine editor, and the logic, the philosophy Godot uses with its scene and nodes design philosophy. How much do I need to zoom out? Or this much? This is the amount. Say this is my default zoom level. Do I go to previous tab? Yes, just use the keyboard shortcut. Scripting, okay. Additional workspaces. Blender has a couple additional workspaces to choose from when adding a new workspace. 2D animation, okay, that's cool. General workspace to work with grease pencil. 2D full canvas, similar to 2D animation, but contains a larger canvas. Visual effects, YFX, making motion for creating 2D masks. So nothing saying in the YFX, okay. Masking for creating 2D masks for compositing or video editing. Something someone could be familiar with from the Adobe After Effects. For calculating camera motion and stabilizing video footage, motion tracking. Video editing. For sequencing together media into one video. Okay, video sequence together. Save and override. Okay, video editing is video editing for sequencing together media into one video. Save and override. The workspaces are saved in the blend file. When you open a file, enabling load UI in the file browser indicates the Blender should use the file's screen layout rather than the current one. A custom set of workspaces can be saved as a part of the defaults. Workspace settings, pin scene, node. When enabled, the current workspace will remember the currently selected scene. Then Whenever you activate the workspace, it will automatically switch back to that scene. A mode. Switch to this mode when activating the workspace. Mode and workspace. So modes, I guess that's similar, referring to the previous about modes, depending on the object types, what tools are, what modifications are active when enabled, depending on the mode. Filter add-ons determines which add-ons are enabled in the active workspace. When unchecked, the global add-ons will be used. When checked, you can enable individual add-ons in the list below. Status bar. So next section. Status bar is located at the bottom and displays contextual information such as keyboard shortcuts, messages, and statistical information. The status bar can be hidden by disabling show status bar. OK. Key map information. The left side of status bar, which is this section here, this one shows this thingy. Mouse button shortcuts and key map of the active tool. In editors with toolbar, tapping Alt shows the hotkeys to change to a desired tool. So I'm ignoring always the Macintosh, Apple OS. I just read what's for Linux and Windows. And now I'm on Windows, so that's more often overlapping Windows and shortcuts Windows and Linux. A tip for the key map information: this functionality can be disabled with the Alt-click tool prompt preference in the key map preferences. Status messages. The middle of the status bar displays information about in-progress operation, like sequence renderer. Running tasks shows the progress of currently running tasks such as rendering or baking. Hovering the mouse pointer over the progress bar will display a time estimate. The task can be aborted by clicking the cancel OK X icon. Report message. Informational message for warnings such as after saving a file, they disappear after a short time. Click them to show the full message in the info editor. Resource information. Okay, the right side of the status bar information displays information about the Blender instance. Which information is shown can be chosen by right mouse button on clicking over there or in preferences. Collection, cube, vertices, pieces, version, memory, available objects. Scene statistics shows information about the data in the active scene. So if I look here and go back to layout, for example, and is this a select box? Okay, so I right clicked here the right part of the status bar and I can see that scene statistics are not showing. So here I see it now. I can see that collection up here, the object is the cube. It has 8 vertices, 6 faces. I'm not sure what this is. The tris, scene duration, that will be for animation. System memory, video memory. That can be good to know. I'll enable that system and VRAM. Okay. Scene statistics, resource information. Scene statistics shows information about data and active scene collection, active objects, geometry, a scene duration, extensions, update, Blender version. Cool. Areas. So what are the areas? The Blender window is divided into a number of rectangles called areas. Areas reserve scene space for editors, such as the 3D viewport or the outliner. Each editor offers a specific piece of functionality. Areas are grouped into workspaces which are geared towards particular tasks, modeling, animation, and so on. So, for example, outliner, is this the outliner? Yes. Areas are grouped into workspaces. So to create, let's say, my own workspace, a custom workspace, that's defined the areas. That includes actually the areas of the editor. So the editor would be a parent for a layout, and then areas, arrangement of the areas is what defines the custom layout. Note, sip of water. While some keyboard shortcuts in Blender are global, such as controllers for saving, many depend on which editor the mouse cursor is hovering over. That's the shortcuts, yeah? Keyboard shortcut. And as an example, say you just selected two objects in the outliner and want to join them. If you press the shortcut for this Ctrl J while cursor is still in the outliner, nothing would happen as the shortcut isn't valid in the outliner. First you need to move mouse to the 3D viewport. Okay, so not all shortcuts work globally in the application. The mouse position drives like the focus from where the shortcuts can be issued. Resizing. You can resize areas by dragging their borders with left mouse button. Move your mouse cursor over the border between two areas so the cursor changes to double-headed. And click drag. Splitting. Okay, splitting an area will create a new area. Placing the mouse cursor in an area corner will change the cursor to a cross to indicate that pressing down left mouse button will activate splitting or joining. Dragging from an area corner inwards will split the area. Okay. You define the split direction by dragging either horizontally or vertically. Define the split direction by dragging. Okay, let's say for example this. No. So if I extend this and come here, this allows me to split join. I'd say drop down menu. Oh no, I need to go into this corner. Alright, okay. It's not this menu, that's a menu. It's this area. In between, like here. Not the menu. Not this, but this area. Just where there where they're separate actually. Okay, joining. Drag from an area corner outward will join two areas. So the area that will be closed shows a dark overlay. Okay, you can select which area will be closed by moving the mouse over it. Release the left mouse button to complete the join. If you press escape or right mouse button before releasing, the operation will be cancelled. So two areas. If I hold this, okay, so I want to cancel, I want to change what I've done with the split, and now we're back in the one area. Joining, okay, that was joining and cancelling that. Area options. Right mouse button, clicking on the border opens the area options. So instead mouse gestures, it's possible just to call the option menu for the operations. Shows an indicator where a line that lets you select the area and position where to split. Splitting also works over here, for example. Should I maybe zoom crazy in here to demonstrate? So it's the area here. Over here, if I right click mouse button, it gives me the options how to split or join. If I don't want to use the left mouse button gesture for splitting and doing those operations. Oh, this zoom level feels much better for the fonts, how the fonts turn out for rendering. And it looks good in the video also, good size. I'll try that. Let's give that a go. This level. Fonts are much clearer at this zoom level. These are the area options. This is good. Swap areas. This swaps this area with the adjacent one. Swapping contents. Okay, you can swap the contents of two areas by pressing Ctrl and left mouse button on the corners of the initial area, dragging towards the target area and releasing the mouse button. That's cool. The two areas do not need to be side by side, though they must be inside the same window. Okay. Duplicate an area into a new window. Menu, view, area, duplicate area into new window. A new floating window containing an area can be created from... The new window is a fully functional window, which is part of the same instance of Blender. This can be useful if you have multiple monitors and to drag the tools to different monitors to empty space. You can also create a new window from an existing area by pressing shift left mouse button, then dragging outward slightly. Maximizing area. It's in the menu view, area toggle maximize area, or shortcut is control space bar. So but resizing areas, how is detected? So if my mouse is here and if I want to, so it knows where the mouse is, and if I go with the mouse to the outliner, control space, goes full window with that. And if I go here to the timeline animation, it detects by mouse. Okay, so it has a focus from the mouse point where it's pointing. Toggle full screen area. Next is regions. Okay, before continuing, I'll just check. I'll have a look. What's the progress here? So, what is this? Oh, quarter. Is this a quarter in the user interface section? Sections, user interface. Regions. I'll go with it. Every editor in Blender is divided into regions. Regions can have smaller structuring elements like tabs and panels. Regions. Every editor in Blender is divided into regions. Smaller structuring elements like tabs and panels with buttons, controls and widgets placed within them. The regions of the 3D viewport showing the sidebar. Regions. So, okay, let's see what's the image explaining. The regions of the 3D viewport showing the sidebar and the adjust last operation panel after adding a cube. So green is the green header, main region yellow, blue the toolbar for the 3D viewport, sidebar red, and adjust last operation pink. Okay, so that would be for this view. This will be a region. Where is it? Open it. This thing is this add cube. This is adjust last operation. No, add cube. Am I adding cube to a cube? Select, move. Can I just now move? Is there more cubes? No. Move. Okay, here's the last operation modifier. So we got the toolbar, region, header, and this section called the red sidebar. Okay, so that would be the regions. Every editor has its regions. Okay. The main region, at least one of the region is always visible. It's called the main region and is the most prominent part of the editor. Each editor has a specific purpose, so the main region and the availability of additional regions are differed between editors. See specific documentation about each editor in the editor's chapter. Header is a small horizontal strip which sits either at the top or bottom of an area. All editors have a header acting as a container for menus and commonly used tools. Menus and buttons will change with the editor type and the selected object and mode. context menu. Right mouse button, clicking on a header reveals a context menu with couple options. Show header, show tool settings. So if I right click on in the header on bottom, the header, show header, flip, split, flip to bottom, maximize area, full screen area, close. Okay. Show header, show tool, flip. Okay. Maximize, cool. Toolbar on the left side of the area contains a set of interactive tools. T toggles the visibility of toolbar. So if I'm back here and I have a mouse bar in here and press T, okay, the toolbar is closed. That's the toolbar. Pressing T, and just to shout out to the guys appearing, HZ Barzi underscore Barzi on Trovo, thanks for joining in, and Paliogiros, thanks for stopping by. Paliogeros. Greece, is that Greek? Back to this. Toolbar settings. I'll try to speed this up a little bit. Adjust last operation is a region that allows tweaking an operation after running it. For example, if you just added a cube, you can use this region to tweak its size. Sidebar. So adjust last operation is this thing. So I have moved it, orientation. So my last operation was moving. The tool here, move, is selected. And if I move, can I move freely? So I move it freely. And here I can change, actually, it holds more precise in coordinates, actually, to better position. So I could just grab something quickly and better position it precisely with these bits here, like X, Y, and Z coordinates, orientation, global, or change, even modify the last operation. Adjust operation. Okay, the sidebar, which is on the right, its shortcut is N. Panels contains panels with the settings of objects within the editor and the editor itself, and toggles visibility of sidebar. So is there a shortcut for last operation? No. I just click it here, move like this. Okay. So this object, the cube, is selected. I can modify location, I can lock it. There is a lock, padlocks, icons, rotate Euler, XYZ coordinates, change the coordinates. Okay. Scaling. So I might just select here to transform it, scale it, squish it without changing the position, or change the position also here. And this should be reflected in, I guess, last operation. So if I do the scale, why is the operation, I guess, so the operation, last operation, it refers to what I've done with mouse, not with the, it's independent from the transform. So I get the toolbar, shortcut N, shortcut T, and sidebar. This is the sidebar, and that's the toolbar. And there has a few tabs here on the sidebar. Item, a tool. Okay, so the tool refers to the more options details for the toolbar. Move is selected, which is selected in the toolbar. Okay, that's good. This is all great to know for the beginner. And the view tab. What's in the view? Focal length, clip start, and local camera render region. 3D cursor. Okay. 3D cursor is not enabled. I will collapse this. Annotations. So let's see what will sidebar. Sidebar on the right side of editor area contains panels with settings of objects within editor and the editor itself. Footer. Some editors show a bar on top or bottom of the editor that display information about, for example, the active tool or operation. Okay. Scrolling, arranging. A region can be scrolled vertically and or diagonally by arranging it with the middle mouse button. If the region has no zoom level, it can also be scrolled by using the wheel while the mouse hovers it. So if I go in Blender and go, let's say, click on it to bring the focus onto application, and with the mouse, middle mouse button, I would be able to zoom. So if I expand this larger, it means I can scroll with it. And what to do with middle mouse button? Oh, it's like a similar, like hold it and it shows the scroller, similar to touch screen gestures, but it doesn't have physics, let's call it like that. What is this? I can drag these by, there is a bit of dotted area here, like for to grab it and drag it. Control mouse, middle mouse button. Some regions in particular, animation timelines, have scroll bars with added control points to adjust the vertical range of. Okay, these special scroll bars will have added widgets that at the ends, as shown in the figure following image. Scroll bars with zoom weights, widgets. So is this the thing? So what's... Okay, that's the zoom. Okay. Scroll bar with zoom widgets. So these are the dots. So I can just grab the gray line as a... Wait, shift mouse button. Okay, I'm just now lying. Actually, this can be used to stretch or compress the range to show more or less detail within available screen space. Simply drag one of the dots to either increase or decrease displayed range. You can also quickly adjust both the horizontal and vertical range by dragging in editor with Control middle mouse button. So I'm holding Control middle mouse button. Okay. Changing the size and hiding regions. Resizing regions work by dragging their borders. Okay. Okay, hidden region leaves a little arrow sign. So arrow sign is like if I come here and press N, the little symbol here shows the arrow. Toolbar also shows here. Okay. That's good to know. Scaling. The scale of certain regions such as toolbar can be changed by dragging inside them with Control control middle mouse button, dragging. So if I come on tool, hold control and mouse button, I can, okay, very nice, very nice. Or using numpad plus minus while hovering the mouse. So mouse over here, or let's say open the sidebar, and mouse is there, and zoom in out. What would be the default? No, I don't know. Okay, so home to reset. So if I change with keyboard this and press home, is the numpad home? No, it's the home over here. Asset shelf, search. So where is the asset shelf? Okay, asset shelf. Search, asset shelf, search. To search for assets, hover your mouse over the asset shelf, then press Ctrl F and type a search query. It will filter, okay, I can understand it, but where is it? Where is the asset shelf? Is that in a view? Modifiers, particles, physics, texture. What's this? Add cube, measure. Where would I find asset shelf? This is object, modifiers, particles, physics, collection, world, scene, view, output, renderer, tool. Where would be the asset shelf? Options, collections, line art, custom properties, view layer, a scene. And now they got, where is the people, where is the asset shelf? Display option, and where are these now? But that depends on the probably on the type of selected workspace. So where would I find the asset shelf? For example, in modeling, sculpting, textures, shading, animation, compositing, geometry node, scripting. Add cube. But this is a toolbar. Why do I look for asset shelf in a toolbar? View, select, add, mesh, layout, object, view, add. So let's get back to previous. The tabs, search. Playback, keying, view, marker. Catalogs can be shown as individual tabs. For each tab only shows its content and the content of its children. That makes it easy to filter down to a certain set of assets. It is possible to change the size of items on the shelf, so I'm continuing with the asset shelf even if I didn't find it. But it's just the part of user interface. Should I look for it in detail? Do I want to find the asset shelf? Zoom out, get the up full screen. Where would I find asset shelf? Object mode. This is viewport, shader, sections are animation, scripting, data, asset browser. Is that it? This be it? And I guess here. Okay, let's say that I understand now. So if it's the asset shelf, current file, root, follow, size, here. Interesting. Why did I never look into this before? Unassigned, what's this? No items, here, normals, all. Deformation, all. Current file, essentials, user library, all. How come that the all is here? Asset library. Again, click asset browser, spreadsheet, file browser, properties, outliner. But what they're saying is how to filter and use the filter, for example, looking through the assets and how to arrange that. Display options. It is possible to change the size of items on the shelf by using the size property. So we might change the preview, I guess, by tagline names checkbox. The assets names will be shown in the shelf. So is this that? No, settings here. All, view, details, area, display size, asset details, select catalog asset, okay, paste, create, size, okay. Size and preview the asset. So what asset are there? Set 96 was the default that I remember. I'll keep it on the default. Display options. Tabs and panels. Tabs are used. Okay, so this is a little bit super simple. Control wheel. Okay, so tabs are used to control overlapping sections in the user interface. The content of only one tab is visible at a time. Tabs are listed in a tab header, which can be horizontal or vertical. Top horizontal tab header in the top bar. Okay, so if I go in here and change to 3D viewport, so editor type, so that was Previously I got into the section of the viewport for data, which shows also asset browser. And for the, if I switch now to viewport, we are seeing this instead of assets. And here in this example, layout, let's say, so tabs, is this the tabs for the, what was this area called? I forgot. Properties, asset browser, okay, so. Oh, it's these vertical, so these are the tabs for this, what's called, I forgot what's area. But what is the specific name of this area? Modifier, is this the modifier? No, properties. This is the outliner section. Well, let's go a few pages back, just to make sure. So if I hit this like this and go maybe workspace, is this workspaces? Okay, so blue is properties, timeline is red, outline is green. So properties is blue. I said properties. Yeah, I figured that much. So I just need to go back. One click back to panels. So tabs. Okay, panels, tabs, and panels. I don't want to fully speed this up, this part, but I want to find out the tiny details that are Blender specific than the standard layout window operations elements of the editor that are Blender specific. Panels are smallest organization. Okay, so panels are smallest organization units in the user interface. Some panels include sub-panels. Collapsing and expanding. Click the left mouse button on the panel header. Okay, pressing A. So, for example, what would that be? That's probably this. These are the panels. Collapse, expand. Left pressing A collapses the panel under the mouse pointer. Clicking Control left mouse button. All others. Okay, so if I expand more, so this is interesting to quickly work with the workspace. Control left mouse button will close other panels while keep my open. All others, and control left mouse button on header of an expanded panel will collapse all its sub panels. Who has here sub panels? Which one? Settings. So if I left click settings, collapses the settings inside. So if I expand settings and sun and click on the header for the panel, it will close them. But if I collapse the expand, so left mouse button, click click Control left mouse button on header of a collapsed one. So if I click surface, left mouse button, it will collapse everything but open the surface. Okay. This is very helpful to speed up the production, because there are so many elements, so many parameters and one can just keep everything expanded. Dragging with left mouse button over the headers will expand or collapse many at once. So if I would then collapse all, so if I go with left mouse button over them and hold, it goes like if I'm like flipping the book pages quickly. And position, so this is the dotted area to drag and around. Pinning. Sometimes it is desirable to view panels from different tabs at the same time. So pinning is performed. Pin a panel by clicking on the pin icon in its header. And panels that do not have a pin icon can be pinned by right mouse button on the panel header, or selecting pin, or pressing shift left mouse button. Panels that do not have a pin can be pinned with right mouse button on the panel header. They don't have, so everything can be pinned even without the icon. Or pressing shift left mouse button. So if I try to pin settings, shift click on the header. Oh, I don't have the options here. These shift click, control left click. Now I'm just being playful. Pinning, but it depends. Not everything has a functionality to be pinned. Let's go further. Presets, selector, a list of available presets. A selection will override included properties. Presets, example, presets menu. New preset can be added based on currently applied set of properties. Removed. Common shortcuts, go next. Common shortcuts. Conventions used in this manual keyboard. References. Hotkey letters are shown in this manual like they appear on keyboard, for example G, so capital. Shift Control Alt are specified as modifier keys. Control V, Shift Alt A indicates that key should be pressed simultaneously. Mouse left mouse button, right mouse button, middle, wheel, up, down. Blender has two main selection modes: left click select and right click select. See the select with mouse button, okay. While left click select is the default, as it is most common in other applications, right click select does have its advantages. Learn about right click. Hovering. While hovering, when the cursor is held over a button. Oh, this is just explanation of terminology conventions used in the manual. But it's also a list of shortcuts. Animation. Insert a keyframe. Alt I. Clear the keyframe. Python scripting, dragging, text editing, confirm and cancel, default key map. Okay, I'll skip through this because this is something I learned through time as I use the application. Key map preferences, managing the key bindings and shortcuts. File browser. Industry compatible key map. Good. Platform specific. Buttons. Operator buttons. Operator buttons execute an operator which is in summary execute an action when clicked with left mouse button. Operator button. Open Blender file. Come on. Checkboxes and toggle buttons. Dragging. Radio buttons. Radio buttons are used to choose one option from a selection of options. Okay, radio buttons. That's like this example here for the rendering. How is this called? Selectability and visibility. Selectability and visibility. Okay, selectability. This is gizmos. Show overlays. So these are radio buttons. If I click one of these, I cannot have more of them selected. Okay. The radio buttons are grouped in a logical structure, operation structure, function structure. Cycling, mouse wheel, direction buttons. Clicking with left mouse button in the sphere and dragging the mouse cursor lets the user change direction by rotating. Okay, that's something good to be familiar with in 3D. Text and search fields, numeral fields, dragging. Are there any tricks with these? So still in detail, in very much detail. Multi-value editing. These are the more like a detail specific to Blender. Multi-value. You can edit multiple number fields at once by pressing down mouse on the first field and dragging over the fields you want to edit. Okay. You can either drag left or right to adjust values. So if I would like to here modify this cube, then I press N for this thing, go to item tab, and I want to change its location. I would hold mouse button, go over these, select them, and with hold mouse button or middle mouse button, and then dragging vertically over the fields you want to edit. Finally, I can drag left or right. So if I would now keep the mouse button here and go left and right, okay, select all and okay, so I'm moving it like this, because if I click on it I go in number mode and then it doesn't work like interactively. I need to type in. This way I get the sliders. Now it works like a slider. It shows the icon left and right, double arrow, double-headed arrow. So if I drag across over the X and Y and Z, now it's numbers. I can type. It will multiply everything. It will change all the same value in. If I click outside of it, click over them, I'm in the number mode, and okay, so I need to hold. So if I release, if I drag across them and release, I'm in the number mode. If I keep holding the mouse, I'm in the interactive 3D transform, for example, for the location section, okay, of the tool. That's good to know. Those are practical, very pragmatic bits useful. Value limits, okay, expressions. You can enter mathematical expressions, good. Expressions as drivers. You may want to your expression to be re-evaluated after it is entered. Blender supports this using drivers, a feature of the animation system. Expressions beginning with the hashtag have a special use. Instead of evaluating the value and discarding the expression, the driver is added to the property with the expression entered. Okay, now we have units. If no unit given, then default unit is applied. The unit system can be changed in scene settings. Using units, decimal separator optional. You can mix units, example metric and imperial. Okay, plural of the names are recognized too. Meter, meters. Color fields. The color fields store a color value. Clicking on it with the left mouse button opens the color picker. Can I, for example, change color for the cube? I selected it, and if I bring back this properties, scene, tool, renderer, output, layer, scene, world, collection. Where would I find properties? Is it texture, material? So base color, click here, we got the color wheel, and change the fancy, set the desired color. I wasn't a big fan with the pink purple colors, but I learned to really appreciate them. Basic color, give me back my, like this. Go more into red, make it more look natural. So if I click, is it applied? Now it's applied. I just went to outside. If I clicked, like, it cancels, doesn't apply the color if I click outside. But if I just go out, it collapses on its own, like it says. Click on it, left mouse button, open speaker, color fields with alpha. Okay, that's the transparencies. On the left, color. Okay, colors can be copied to other colors. Hovering a color property will display a large swatch preview of the color and colors, hexadecimal. Okay, menus. Our in. This is our in time moment for a short break. 2.5 hours, almost 2:20. Short break with the Commodore 64 chiptunes from 5 voltage SID collection. You're welcome. I really like doing this way. I'm happy that I've decided to do it. Now switching back to the topic at hand. Full the screen. I might have watched, I might selected, chosen to watch the video introduction, but I wouldn't learn all this now reading and doing the same thing myself, following. I don't know how would I. The one thing what is challenging with videos, learning through the videos, how to adjust the size while also the window for the tool that I'm learning about, how to set them side by side, and this, so I'm explaining what I'm doing actually. What's the presentation here? So it's a 1080p zoomed in with Windows magnifier, and I have a text here, the manual for the application, and the application is here, and it is super efficient as far as I see how to follow the actually steps and descriptions in the manual for Blender, and actually see right away how it works. Can I be playful with this? White circle is to move it around. I want to just change the, set it in different position under the lighting so that it shows different shades. Anyway, I find this way more efficient, and I'm actually learning something than just watching the video and sitting on my hands peeling in the video. On your end, again, you are watching a video, but I do also explain with you can read and see, and I explain my thought process. As a noob into this, I'm new to this, I don't know how to use Blender. I might have some assumptions, but I need to learn. So how would this be helpful, what I'm doing on the stream? How would be this helpful for somebody who needs to learn? Well, maybe my video is zoomed in enough that you can, let's say, have it on the side with even in a smaller window and still be able to read or follow the text, or even have on your setup on the side the application itself and text file, or at least have a audio part of video available for you following along. What is the section? We are in the menus. Mouse left bar, menu select, mouse selection. Menus. Blender uses a variety of different menus for accessing options and operators. Shortcuts. So I'm looking to grasp this section, the menus. Numerical selection, shortcuts. If a menu is too large to fit the screen, okay, that's like the usual stuff. Shortcuts, use wheel while hovering with mouse. Oh, that's the available shortcuts in the menu. Pop-up menus. List operators. So we know now that operators are usually some buttons that execute a command like a file. Specifically in this area, like if this is a button, that will be an operator. Okay. All pop-up menus can be searched by pressing sidebar, spacebar. Menu search feature exists in all pop-up menus, especially for the large ones. Cool. So I guess, for example, if I bring in here this thing and I press spacebar, right? Is that the fact? No, that's not the fact. Object mode, spacebar. So what does it say? Okay, so do I, let's say, can I give that a shot for all pop-up menus? So this is a pop-up menu, and if I hold search and type, no, that was some shortcut. So that was not a good example. Okay, if I press spacebar and press, let's say, T, active tool, what is this? Editor type, texture node. So I intentionally pressed the spacebar T as a shortcut to jump here. But if I just press, let's say, S, which is underlined, it would bring me to shader editor. Is that the fact? Is this the shader editor? Current editor type for this area, shader editor. Okay, so I'll just go back to, let's say I hit Shift F5. We are in the view mode again. Is this still section for shortcuts or menus? Pop-up menus, collapsing menus, selecting menus, pop over. Where? The Blender has a lot of specific methods to operate the user interface on a deeper level, while on the surface works like any other applications, also with these pop-up menus, context menus and so on. Context menu are pop-ups. Context menu are pop-ups that can be opened with right mouse button in most editor. It is also possible to use the menu key on keyboard that's on the next to the right control on keyboard. When invoked in an editor, the menu contains a list of operators sensitive to the editor's mode. Okay. Single. Apply the change to a single value or a set. All. Good. Assign shortcut. Special menus. I guess I'll close the stream around the section where I get at 3 hours in the stream, or this part. Then I'll have, I'm not sure will I be back in the stream with something else or continue with this. I think it will be good to continue with Godot engine to keep that the learned so far, what I learned so far, to keep fresh. Maybe try challenge myself with some tutorial that needs. That is a bit challenging. Special menus. The special pop-up menu is similar to context menu, but is opened using a button consisting of so special menus consisting of a down arrow on a dark background. Special pie menus. Okay. Fastest way to operate. Eyedropper. So these are the tools. Can I check where am I in the section now? How much? Where are we? Eyedroppers, decorators. So eyedropper I'm familiar with. So you see, I'm also now using for the presentation to change zoom level and go resize and restore the application window with window shortcuts. It's very window shortcuts. Mouse is bad, keyboard good. Mouse good, keyboard better. Eyedropper, decorators. So let's see the decorators, what they mean. Well, I guess this section I can go faster, just so to get the terminology. What are the references? What does it mean? And what the decorator means? Decorators are small buttons that appear on the right of other buttons and show the state of the property. Decorators may appear next to number fields, menu and checkboxes to indicate the property. To indicate the property can be animated. Decorators indicate in different property states. So, okay. So it means it can be keyframe. Clicking on a decorator dot icon will add a keyframe to the property. That's good. Clicking the rhombus icon. Okay, clicking the decorator dot. Okay, so this dot here shows that I can keyframe it. And rhomboid. Clicking the rhombus icon again will remove the keyframe. So this is not keyframed. The dot, while this refers to a keyframe. And what is the snake arrow? Okay. Clicking non-solid rhombus icon will create a solid rhombus icon indicates there is a keyframe, while non-solid rhombus icon indicates that that property has a keyframe on another frame. Okay. So when it is solid, it means I'm in that frame on the timeline of animation where that keyframe is set. If I change the frame, that rhombus will be drawn but empty, like a flat just outline. So if I would, let's say, select on here now, I'm using my learned skills, let's say. So if I go here for this cube, for our cube here on the sidebar panel, I might hit a key on a keyboard, just an I button for keyframing. And can I add on a rotation, insert keyframe, insert single keyframe, and that is a lock. I don't need to lock, but so I have a keyframe. Can I now on a rotation, let's say, go over the timeline, and so I've keyframed, I guess, this property lock. But if I remove, can I remove this clear keyframes? Okay, now if I go through the timeline, cool. So what I want to give it a try to keyframe this property rotation. So if I press I and now go here, 1 second in, if it's 60 seconds, press keyframe again, and I try do this. Does this mean that this is animated now? No. So how would I add a keyframe to a property? Maybe not here on transformation, but like these rhomboids here show over here. This one, can I change that? Can I drag the keyframe to the end and see if I can change something? Okay, so I know that the properties should be changed and set inside of a keyframe. And if I go here on this, in this moment, well, I'm now trying to, I'm guessing actually how to animate, let's say, rotation property using keyframes. But it's not the way it works. Can I go outside, change rotation, and let's see if it gets to the point where the keyframe is. Will it flip? No. Okay, right click, keyframe, delete keyframe, and right click on this keyframe, delete keyframe. Delete keyframes, so no keyframes. Jump to start, but that's the part of that animating. If a property is being driven by another, the decorator shows the driver icon. I think that could be this icon, the snake, like a direction driver. State colors, data block menu. What's that? Lets you select a data block such as a material in order to link it to something else such as an object. Type shows an icon ID indicating the data block type. Data block menu. Shows an icon indicating the data block type. There could be data block can be type shows an icon. A list of data blocks are available in the current blend file. Let's say I'm in materials like here, and where would I find some datas here? Settings, thickness. Where is the example? Such as material shows an icon indicating the data block type. Dragging lets you apply the data block to something else. A list of data blocks available in the current blend file or link to select. item from. The menu may show a preview besides the item and a search field to search. Okay. Material. No. Is this a custom material? Object data. So I guess this is a list of data here. This will be, I'm guessing, the concept of that list, data list. So material is data list. Name, user count displays the number of users of the data. If there's more than one user clicking, it will create a single user copy. As an example, if 3 separate objects reference the same material's user count would be 3. Okay, so the user means where that data is applied inside the scene, how many objects are using it. Fake user, shield icon. If a data block has no real users, it will normally be cleaned up, deleted when saving the blend file. To prevent this, you can give it a fake user. That way it's guaranteed to survive. Data blocks with a fake user have an F prefix in the drop-down list. The outliner can show an overview of all data blocks without real users in the blend file. Simply change its display mode to orphan data. New add files icon creates a new data block or duplicates the current one and selects it. Open file opens the file in file browser. Unpack the file packed into the current blend file to an external one. Unlink data block clears the link. Okay, preview. Some data block menus have large preview images. A data ID field similar to data block menu, but is only for selecting and not for other features like creating new. Okay. Type specifies the accepted data block type. Text field functions as a search field by matching elements. Eyedropper remove sub ID. Related types of IDs may become available to select a property or child object depending on the object type. Vertex group. If the selected object in the target field is a mesh or a lattice, an additional field is displayed where a vertex group can be selected. Vertex group, okay. Bone. If the selected object in the target field name is armature, an additional field is displayed where a bone can be selected. Oh, cool. Head tail. Once a bone is selected, a numeric field becomes available for specifying a point on the bone. A value of 0 corresponds to the bone's head, while a value of 1 corresponds to its tail. Any values between these will result in a linear interpolation. Use a B-bone shape. If the bone is a bendy bone, clicking on this button will make the point follow the curvature of the... These are some more advanced in modeling topics. List view. This control is useful for managing lists. Select, rename, resize, filter, invert, add, remove specials. A specials menu with operators to edit list entries. Color picker. think we've been through color picker in some way or form. Types. The default color picker type can be selected in preferences, see interface. The color picker is a pop-up that lets you define a color value. Holding Control while dragging snaps the hue to make it quick to select primary colors. Let me see, if I hold Control in the materials where I change the, go back to cube, material, left shift, preview, cube, is it surface or settings? Where were the colors? Preview, no. Where did I change the color? I'm pretty sure that I've changed in the material. And surface, okay, so surface here, so if I click base color, hold Control, it snaps to, where is it snapping to? Primary colors. Let me double check. Holding Control while dragging snaps the hue to make it quick to select primary colors. So if I'm in the colors and drag, I'm free to go through all the variants. If I hold Control, it has a it jumps around, so it's not exactly following my mouse. It snaps to the primary colors. So now we can see the like a larger steps between colors, clearly separating each step. But if I release my left control button and I slide, I just slide through all color shades. Okay, that's good to know. One needs to control the palette. This is a good shortcut to do it. Color field, and I started just scrolling quickly to this, but this is actually, these are all super important bits. Color field lets you pick the first and second color component. Color field. Color slider. Color model. RGB, HSV, HSL, hexadecimal. In Blender, the RGB, HSV, HSL values are in C linear color space and are therefore not gamma corrected. On the contrary, hex are automatically gamma corrected for the sRGB color space. For more information, see color management. Color values. Blender uses values from 0 to 1 to express colors. RGB and SHV. Hexadecimal values correspond to RRGGBB, shorthand for colors. For hex, colors are also supported, like named dark yellow and white, and names for colors. For operations that are capable of using alpha channel, another slider A is added for, I guess, transparencies. Eyedropper pipette samples a color from inside the Blender window. Okay. Shortcuts, types. The default color picker type can be selected, so color types. Color ramp. Color ramps specify a color gradient based on color stops. Each stop has a position and a color. The gradient is then calculated as the interpolation between stops using the chosen interpolation method. I got that. Controls adds a new stop. I know that. I know what they mean. This would be, I think, for example, these are the points for, let's say, blends. And here would be one stop. I'm thinking that that would be I'd like to go through all this really in detail, but I'm also hoping that I might just be jumping over some of these. Color palettes are a way of storing brush color so that it can be used at later time. Okay, palette, or sometimes called swatches. Curve widget, okay, control points, the curves. Controls, zoom in, zoom out. Above the curve graph is a row of controls. Zoom in, zoom out. Special menu with operators to edit control points or set properties. But let's see what they say. Curve widgets allows to intuitively map a range of input values to a set of output values by adjusting curve. Control points, like all curves in Blender, the curve of the curve widget is controlled using control points. Okay. Extended options controls how the curve is extended before the first control point. So either are angles or curves. Reset curve clipping option dot icon. Handle type controls how the control points affect the curve shape. It determines the interpolation of the curve segment at the selected control point. Vector handle, create straight line. Auto handle, automatic handles that create smooth curves. Auto clamped, automatic handles that create smooth curves while also preventing overshot. Auto handles, auto clamped. Okay, so we have here smooth and auto handle, and this is clamped. Okay. Aligned free, the free handle, the handles can be moved completely independently and thus can result in sharp change of direction. The two handles of the curve in the aligned free handles are locked together to always point in exactly opposite directions. XY coordinates of selecting control point, delete X. Shortcut is X, remove the selected control point, copy paste, okay, search. Menu search, a part of the operator names, the pop-up allows show the menus where they are located, okay. Menu search pop-up lets you search Blender's interface for a certain operation and execute it. Cool. First, narrow down the list by typing the part of the operator's name. Menu search reference mode, all modes, menu edit modes, shortcut F3. The menu search pop-up lets you search Blender's interface and where they are, so it's possible to know also where they are. The spacebar action option in the preferences. See also. Operator search. When the developer extras are activated, the operator search can be accessed from the edit menu. Okay, that's in the developer extras. Nodes. Are we really here now? So here's the introduction for nodes. 3 hours 15 in the stream. Let's say that I go outside of this. Get this into full screen. So where are we now? The nodes. User interface. This is all in the section user interface, and after that, so nodes are, if I collapse it, we are at the end of the user interface, the last quarter, but we came into the subsection of nodes. I will take an overview of it, introduction. For nodes, if I click the nodes, it has its own list, introduction. Okay. Blender contains different node-based editors for different purposes. This section only explains how to work with nodes in general. Contains different node-based editors with different purposes. So this section only explains how to work with nodes in general. The list below shows the different type of nodes and where they are documented. Name and so on. Okay, I'm closing the session, and now to do the recapitulation. And what I need is to say in the recapitulation, I'll try and give it some context, and for that I'll also use this overview. So in this stream I went through the Blender, exactly the manual, starting from opening Blender and selecting in the help menu and using, of course, trusty Windows desktop magnifier, and from help selecting the manual. And I also checked the official tutorial they provide, which is also a video, but I've closed it because I didn't want to sit and just watch the video, and video is the only free course on the Blender's website. All other learning materials are subscription based. So I've decided to actually go through the manual, similar like I did for Godot. And if I expand this, I went through the sections, quickly went through. Actually, we went through. Did I skip these? Did I skip something? What am I doing straight here? No, I'm looking at the wrong thing. Well, the first section, getting started, that's very superficial. I just wanted to go deeper on here on the left side, and I went actually almost reading every detailed thing. Went faster through some of the parts, but actually I've got a good, clearer view into the interface, so I can more efficiently actually work with the tutorials. But for me to learn an application or something, it's better to read through and take my time and actually check in the application itself what does it do. And to get familiar with the workspace, like a top bar, what's in the top bar, where the menu is, general menu, options in the menu, and then here also the right of the main menu here is the section, the workspaces, that actually I didn't know this, or I was just guessing about it. So now I understand that part. And then I understand that also here I can change the actual view, what is this, what's called editor type. Select between them and how to go back if something changes, because changing the editor type can really look dramatic change. Selecting another one and go to the previous. So I'm confident that I understand what I do and why. If I go through that, then status bar, well, some things are super simple. And then learn how to interact with the areas. Like, for example, that this region, that it's actually a void between the panels, is interactive. Some things I forgot. Like what are the basic shortcuts, but if I right click here, I can say join areas, and actually, yeah. And in the tutorial there is an example of okay, so what I did, I actually I have now a new window. I dragged outside like a clone area to a window. Those sorts of things. What are regions in a scene? Like for example, in this editor view we got the regions for a toolbar, the modify last action, then the sidebar shortcut N, toolbar shortcut T. Also that the one can zoom in and out the toolbar. Tools with, is it shift, control? Okay, control and middle mouse button to make them larger. The interactive parts of user interface. General overview and tabs, panels, and so on. So I've read through all this, and there are many levels of the user interface elements, and especially as it's handling different types of data, but it hints that the data types are actually chunks that are manageable, and how to actually use them, reuse them, or even export them, save them, connect them to a project or export them, and how to manage the relations from the external asset or link them internally, and whether to embed them or let them sit outside. So at this point I'm at the nodes, which is a standalone subsection of the manual's part user interface. And our stream is 3 hours in. I'm not sure how will I edit the shorter formats from it, but is it even useful? But I'll keep it for the reference. So for the other next session, what's left is in the user interface section, nodes, tool system, operators, undo, redo, and selecting. Let me just have a quick look how it looks in general. For example, selecting. What does it do? So it's in the section user interface. By default uses to select. Let's see what they do, how much of this there is. Okay, it goes, let's say, here in detail with the selecting the elements in the 3D viewport. Lasso, circle, square. There is quite a bit of it. Then next, so what would be next thing? Annotations. What would that mean? 3D objects to nodes setup. The annotation tool is available in multiple editors. Annotate. Activated. Well, what's the purpose of it? Okay, so I'll have to read to find out. Undo, redo. Okay, some terms, some convention, naming convention refer to the more standard terms like this, undo, redo. But for the complex, elaborate application like Blender, it probably means quite a lot more. Operators are mentioned already, but here's a specific chapter about operators. So now I'm going just for what is left in the user interface. The tool system, they can be accessed from toolbar. General introduction to tools. Individual tools have their own documentation. Okay. And the nodes, the section specialized for its own introduction and explanation. So that's what's gonna be going on next. Well, this might be an efficient recapitulation, but it's more like an audio book. I've created a video audio book. It's some simple presentation parts, more like I'm just reading out loud stuff, but I do go into the application, actually see for myself. I try to speed it up to get to some like more instructional section of the manual. I was hoping to get to the point where they say, okay, put a cube, do this to it, and that's what will happen, but still not there. There is the section for the user interface is quite detailed, elaborate, but it's good to read it through. It does appear like reading the year calendar and reading the date and time and names for each day, time and month in the calendar, but this is a special calendar. So it would be good to know actually for use case for apply that to Blender learning. It would be good to know in that year, if the Blender was a year, it would be good to know each date, what's the name and in what month. What day is it in each day of the Blender calendar? Thanks everybody who stopped by on Trovo. Well, sorry, but it's work days, no gaming, learning, working, growing. So this is me, Eddy. I'm your host, loves you most, even you, signing out. Thanks for stopping by. And I didn't prepare this outro scene that should look like this. like this and work like this, bit music louder.